My hair has officially entered Wolverine mode. Okay, this is like the 5th take, and I haven't even said hello, how are you yet? So hello, how are you? This is the video. I'm making it. I've made it. You're watching it. I haven't sailed off into the sunset. I keep remaking it because the audio doesn't work properly. How fuck? Let's talk about fish. Oh, who gives a shit about fish? You know, fish, irrelevant things. I think you should have a bit more respect for your great grandmother. Shouldn't you, really? I think it was Richard Dawkins that made up this really neat thought experiment that if you had a family photo album of your ancestors' portraits, so it was like a photo album, and you saw yourself, and then you flipped a page into the past, and there's your parents, your grandparents, great-grandparents, and you kept flipping and flipping and flipping. If you did that for long enough, you would go through the ancestry of humanity itself. And you'd go through some sort of primate species, through some sort of mammal species, and you would eventually get to some fish and then to some invisible microorganism. Think about it, how amazing is that? Now, the species in our direct ancestry that we think of as different species, because for example your fish ancestor, your fish great-great-great-great-great-grandmother looks like an obvious different species because it's a fish, duh. But can you say that all those intermediate species, A, was species to begin with? Can you ever say that a child is a different species to its parent? At which point during that continuous, unbroken reproductive lineage, do you stop and say, this child is now a different species to its parent? It defies the definition of species, which is things that cannot breed together, because if you gave birth to something, it is you in that sense. So that breaks the definition. That's one thing. Are they different species? The second thing is, are they extinct species? Can you say that every single distinct species in our direct ancestry is now extinct? Can you say that a parent is extinct because its child is now alive but the parent isn't? Not really. The whole point of life is that it's this unbroken chain that continues through evolutionary time through reproduction. So that fish ancestor, and indeed all of the ancestors, are alive still through us. I mean, this argument applies to the whole Neanderthal debate, where just because a given or some sort of defined population of Neanderthals was mostly wiped, they went extinct. But if just one Neanderthal bred with a human, which we know happened for sure, because there is Neanderthal DNA in us now, or at least in people that are outside of Africa, we know that happened. If at least one Neanderthal did that, and therefore successfully passed itself on in some form, in some shape or form, to anything that is alive today, which is correct, how can you say it's extinct? The thing is that whatever life is, and whatever this thread of being alive or being conscious or expressing this form of existence that we call life, this thing has created itself and maintained itself for so long through an unimaginably varied range of media, different bodies. It carried itself through different bodies in wildly different environments, through, severe ice ages, severe cold, severe heat, unimaginable variety of environments and landscapes and conditions, and therefore different bodies and shapes and functions. And that is what life has done throughout time, and that is what it's going to continue to do. So any delusion that there's fixed forms, that you're a human that came from humans because they were made human, is completely deluded. And any impression that a certain shape or a certain function or a certain form is somehow superior or somehow exclusive or conservative in that character that is called life is complete delusion. Your sense of self and your sense of existence, even though you don't remember it, obviously, through your ancestors, has been through so much and so many different forms, including fish. And that has been the only way that it has survived. So you are you today because of everything that happened in the past, not because you're better, but because you are good for now, and they were good for then. Because even though you might think, oh well, they were in the past, they're not alive anymore, they are alive through you. That life has simply changed itself to become you. Righty-ho, if you want a topic, then comment and I will do it maybe. And I reassure you that I am in fact not tripping on acid.